Subscribe to my YouTube channel for deeply emotional, romantic, and mature stories that echo through your heart. Don't forget to like, share, and comment to support meaningful storytelling. Sarah stood at her kitchen window, watching the rain streak down the glass like tears. She couldn't cry anymore. 3 months had passed since that night. The night that shattered everything she thought she knew about love, friendship, and herself. Her phone buzzed on the counter, displaying Emma's name, and Sarah's heart clenched with a familiar ache of guilt and longing. "Can we talk? Please?" But how could she face Emma now? How could she look into the eyes of the woman who had been her sister in every way that mattered, knowing what she had done with David, Emma's husband of 7 years? The story began 2 years earlier, when Sarah's world had already started crumbling. Her marriage to Michael had been deteriorating for months, filled with silent dinners and separate bedrooms. She felt invisible in her own home, like a ghost haunting the remnants of what used to be love. Emma had been her lifeline during those dark days. They had been best friends since college, sharing everything from midnight ice cream sessions to dreams of the future. Emma's marriage to David had always seemed perfect from the outside. They were the couple everyone envied, the ones who still held hands after 7 years, who finished each other's sentences and laughed at inside jokes. Sarah had always admired their relationship, perhaps too much. She remembered the first time she noticed David differently. It was at Emma's birthday party last spring. Sarah had been helping in the kitchen when David walked in, his shirt sleeves rolled up, his dark hair slightly disheveled from setting up decorations in the backyard. "Need help?" he had asked, and when Sarah looked up, she felt something shift. Inside her chest a flutter she hadn't experienced in years. "I'm fine," she had whispered, but her voice caught, and David's eyes lingered on her face with an expression she couldn't quite read. That moment should have been a warning. Instead, it became the first crack in the foundation of everything she held dear. As Sarah's marriage continued to fall apart, she found herself spending more time at Emma and David's house. Emma welcomed her with open arms, insisting that Sarah stay in their guest room whenever she needed space from Michael. "You're family," Emma had said, squeezing Sarah's hand. "This is your home too." But being so close to David was torture. She noticed everything: the way he hummed while making coffee in the morning, how he absently played with his wedding ring when he was thinking, the gentle way he spoke to Emma, even when he was tired from work. Sarah began to fantasize about what it would be like to be loved so completely, so tenderly. She imagined David's arms around her, his voice whispering sweet words meant only for her. The guilt of these thoughts ate at her, but she couldn't stop. The night everything changed started innocently enough. Emma had gone to visit her sick mother for the weekend, and Sarah had offered to stay with David to help him prepare for a big presentation at work. They had worked late into the evening, spread across the dining table with papers and laptops, sharing Chinese takeout and laughing about old college memories. "Remember when Emma tried to dye her hair blonde and it turned orange?" David chuckled, loosening his tie. "She cried for 3 days," Sarah replied, smiling at the memory. "But you told her she looked beautiful anyway." "She did," David said softly. "She always does." There was something in his voice that made Sarah look up. Their eyes met across the table, and she saw something there, a loneliness that mirrored her own, a hunger that had nothing to do with the forgotten dinner between them. "David," she whispered, not even knowing what she wanted to say. He stood up slowly, never breaking eye contact. "Sarah, don't," she interrupted, standing as well. "Don't say anything, please." But he was already walking around the table, and she was already reaching for him. When their hands touched, it was like touching a live wire. Years of suppressed feelings, of longing and loneliness, crashed over them both. "This is wrong," David murmured, but his thumb was tracing circles on her palm. "I know," Sarah breathed, "but I can't stop thinking about you. About us." The space between them disappeared. His lips found hers, and Sarah felt like she was drowning. And being saved at the same time. The kiss was desperate, filled with all the words they couldn't say, all the dreams they couldn't admit. They made love on the couch where Emma and David had cuddled through countless movie nights. Sarah tried to push away the images of her best friend, but they haunted every touch, every whispered endearment. When David called her name in the darkness, she heard the pain in his voice, the same pain that was tearing her apart. Afterward, they lay entwined, both knowing they had crossed a line they could never uncross. David's wedding ring caught the lamplight, and Sarah felt sick with what they had done. "Emma," David whispered, and Sarah wasn't sure if he was thinking of his wife or accidentally calling her by the wrong name. "I should go," Sarah said, sitting up and reaching for her clothes. "Sarah, wait." David's hand caught her wrist. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." "Don't apologize," she said, tears finally spilling over. "I wanted this. I've wanted this for so long." "So have I," he admitted. And those 3 words broke her heart all over again. They had betrayed Emma together, but they had also betrayed themselves. What should have been beautiful was tainted with shame and regret. Sarah left that night and didn't return. She threw herself into fixing her marriage with Michael, desperate to feel clean again, to be the person she used to be. But every time Michael touched her, she thought of David. Every time she looked in the mirror, she saw a woman she didn't recognize, someone capable of betraying her dearest friend. The truth had a way of surfacing, as it always does. Emma noticed the change in David immediately when she returned from her mother's. He was distant, distracted, guilt written across his features like a roadmap to his sins. "Is everything okay?" Emma asked Sarah over coffee a week later. "David seems off, and you've been avoiding us." Sarah's hands trembled around her mug. "I don't know what you mean." "Sarah, we've been friends for 15 years. I know when something's wrong." The lies came easily at first: work stress, marriage troubles, anything but the truth. But Emma knew her too well. She pushed gently, lovingly, the way she always had when Sarah was hurting. "Did something happen while I was gone?" Emma asked. Finally, her voice small and uncertain. Sarah's resolve crumbled. The guilt was eating her alive, and she couldn't bear to see Emma so worried, so innocent of the devastation that had already occurred. "Emma, Sarah's voice broke. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." The confession tumbled out in broken sentences and desperate tears. Emma sat perfectly still, her face growing paler with each word. When Sarah finished, the silence stretched between them like a chasm. "How long?" Emma asked, her voice barely audible. "It was just one night," Sarah sobbed. "One terrible, awful night." "But you loved him," Emma said. And it wasn't a question. Sarah couldn't deny it. "Yes," Emma stood up, slowly, her movements mechanical. "I need you to leave. Emma, please. I need you to leave now." Sarah had never heard Emma's voice so cold, so final. She gathered her things and walked to the door, turning back once to see Emma standing at the window, her shoulders shaking with silent tears. That was 3 months ago. 3 months of living with the knowledge that she had destroyed the most important relationship in her life for one night of passion that had left her feeling more empty than ever. Her marriage, too. Michael had ended anyway. The guilt and shame had made it impossible to pretend anymore. She was alone now, truly alone, and the loneliness was suffocating. David had called once, 2 weeks after everything came out. His voice was hollow, broken. "Emma's moved out," he said. "She's staying with her sister." "I'm sorry," Sarah whispered. "Are you? Because I can't tell if this is what you wanted all along." The accusation stung because there was truth in it. Some dark part of her had hoped that her feelings for David would somehow lead to something beautiful, something real. Instead, it had led to this 3 broken people picking up the pieces of their shattered lives. "I never wanted to hurt her," Sarah said. "But you did. We both did." "I know. I can't see you anymore, Sarah. I can't even think about you without feeling sick." The line went dead, and Sarah understood that she had lost them both. Emma and David. The friendship that had sustained her for 15 years was gone, and the love she thought she felt was revealed to be selfish and destructive. Now, staring at Emma's text message, Sarah wondered if there was any way to repair what they had broken. Emma was offering an olive branch, but Sarah wasn't sure she deserved forgiveness. Her phone buzzed again. "I'm outside." Sarah's heart raced as she looked out the window. Emma's car was parked in the driveway, and through the windshield, Sarah could see her former best friend gripping the steering wheel. Gathering courage, Sarah opened the door before Emma could knock. They stood facing each other. 2 women who had once shared everything, now separated by betrayal and heartbreak. Emma looked older, thinner. Her wedding ring was gone, and her eyes held a sadness that Sarah had put there. "Hi," Emma said softly. "Hi." They sat at Sarah's kitchen table, the same table where Sarah had eaten countless meals with Emma over the years, where they had planned weddings and dreams and futures that would never come to pass. "I'm getting divorced," Emma said without preamble. Sarah's chest tightened. "I'm sorry. Are you?" The question hung in the air between them. Sarah thought about lying, about saying what Emma might want to hear. But they had moved beyond pretty lies. "I'm sorry for the pain I caused you," Sarah said carefully. "I'm sorry for betraying your trust. But I can't be sorry for feeling something real for the first time in years, even if it was wrong." Emma nodded slowly. "I know. And I think I understand now." "What do you mean?" "David and we weren't happy. We hadn't been happy for a long time. We were going through the motions, playing house, pretending everything was perfect." Emma's voice was steady, but tears were streaming down her face. "I think part of me knew something was going to happen. I saw the way he looked at you, the way you looked at him." "Emma, I'm not excusing what you did, what you both did, but I'm trying to understand it." They sat in silence for a long moment, processing the weight of Emma's words. "I loved him," Sarah said finally. "I know that doesn't make it right, but I need you to know that it wasn't just sex. I loved him." "I know," Emma whispered. "And I think he loved you too. Maybe more than he ever loved me." The admission hung between them like a bridge they both had to decide whether to cross. "I've missed you," Emma said suddenly. "I've missed my best friend. I've missed having someone who knows me, who understands me." "I've missed you too," Sarah replied, her voice breaking. "Every day. I don't know if we can ever go back to what we were," Emma said. "Too much has happened. Too much has changed." "I know. But maybe we can find a way forward. Maybe we can forgive each other." Sarah looked at Emma really. Looked at her and saw not just the woman she had betrayed, but the girl she had shared secrets with in college, the friend who had held her hair back when she was sick, the sister who had celebrated every victory and mourned every loss. "I would like that," Sarah said softly. "I would like that very much." Emma reached across the table and took Sarah's hand. It was a tentative gesture, fragile and uncertain, but it was a beginning. "It's going to take time," Emma said. I know. And I need you to know that I can never think about David the same way again. Even if I could forgive him, I could never trust him again. Sarah nodded, understanding the finality in Emma's words. David was lost to both of them now, a casualty of their choices. What happens now? Sarah asked. Now we try to figure out how to be friends again, how to trust again, how to move forward. They talked until the sun set, tentatively rebuilding the bridge between them. It would never be the same. Too much had been broken, too much had been lost. But perhaps, in time, they could create something new. Something honest and real, built on the ruins of what they had destroyed. As Emma prepared to leave, she turned back at the door. Sarah? Yes. I need you to promise me something. Anything. Promise me you'll never settle for anything less than real love again. Not the desperate, selfish kind that destroys everything around it, but the kind that builds up, that honors, that protects. Sarah nodded, tears spilling over. I promise. And promise me you'll forgive yourself eventually, because I'm going to try to forgive you, and I need you to meet me halfway. I promise. Sarah whispered. Emma smiled, the first real smile Sarah had seen from her in months. Good. Because I love you, Sarah. Despite everything, I love you. And I want us both to be happy. After Emma left, Sarah sat alone in her kitchen, watching the stars emerge in the darkening sky. The weight of guilt was still there, would probably always be there, but it felt lighter somehow. Forgiveness was possible. Healing was possible. She thought about David, wondered if he was finding his own path to healing. She hoped he was. She hoped they all were. The road ahead was uncertain, filled with the hard work of rebuilding trust and learning to live with the consequences of their choices. But for the first time in months, Sarah felt something she had forgotten existed. Hope. Had learned that love without honor was destruction, that passion without integrity was poison. But she had also learned that forgiveness was possible, that friendship could survive even the deepest betrayal, and that sometimes the most important love stories were not about romantic love at all, but about the love between friends who choose to hold on to each other even when everything else falls apart. The rain had stopped, and through her window, Sarah could see the moon breaking through the clouds, casting silver light on the wet pavement. It was beautiful, this light after darkness, this hope after despair. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new opportunities to choose love over fear, integrity over desire. But tonight, Sarah sat in her kitchen and felt grateful for Emma's courage, grateful for the possibility of redemption, grateful for the chance to become the woman she was meant to be. The story wasn't over. In many ways, it was just beginning.